Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ten, and today we're gonna be making kombucha. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to make kombucha from start to finish. I'm gonna show you how to do a continuous brew so that you could just keep making kombucha back to back to back. I'm gonna show you the second fermentation, as well as talk about some flavor combinations and where to get your kombucha SCOBY. Now, what is a kombucha SCOBY? Well, a SCOBY is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. That's what the acronym is. But more specifically, it consists of lactic acid bacteria, which in this case is going to come from our vegetable source, or the tea. It also consists of acetic bacteria, or acetic acid bacteria, like the kind that you would find in vinegar. That's why kombucha sometimes has a vinegary kind of smell to it. And the last one is yeasts, which come from the air all around us. About 3 months since I've made kombucha. When I put this jar into the closet, the SCOBY was literally just this big. Now it's literally, you know what? Let's find out. 3 inches. 3 whole inches. I took a little break because I wanted to focus on other things, but now it's time to make some again. Oh wow, it's like a solid mass. Oh, okay, that works. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. No, that's not coming out of that jar. Yeah, that's not coming out of there. I don't know what to do now. Oh, man. All right. That is one crazy pellicle. My lord, look at this. Look at this. It's literally a whole solid mass. Wow. And that's it. Okay, so there's a problem. There's no bubbles. And when I taste it, it's sugar sweet. So my kombucha might be dead. Even though I thought the kombucha was dead, I still wanted to give it a chance, right? Because a new pellicle did form on top, right? You see the new pellicle, and it looked and smelled just like normal kombucha. The only oddity was this weird, clear, mucus-like gelatinous layer that was hanging off of the pellicle, which I've never seen before in any of my brews. Since I had already brewed the tea, I mixed it anyways, and into the closet it went. A few days later, I knew it was done for. There was about 10 to 13 different colonies of I don't know what growing in there. I got to admit though, they did look interesting and very different from each other. There was some yellow ones, there was brown ones, there was like a gray one with these little black top pinned molds growing in there. There were some that were exuding some sort of liquid. Super interesting. But for a germaphobe like myself, my thought was on flushing it. I didn't want it in my apartment, even though I regret it now because I should have definitely taken the macro camera out and taken some macro shots of it, but it is what it is. Since my attempt to revitalize my old kombucha SCOBY failed, it was time to put in an order with Fermentaholics and get myself a new starter pack. I started the way I started the first time, with a purchase of a 1-gallon batch of kombucha starter from Fermentaholics, a company that I very highly recommend if you're into fermented stuff, not only just kombucha, because they do a wide range of stuff. But I did like the bold flavor and the potency of the actual brew. Plus, it's only like $12 to $15 for the starter, which is roughly the cost of 2 to 3 bottles of store kombucha, with the added benefit that this could potentially last you a whole entire lifetime, as long as you maintain it and feed it and take care of it, like any other living thing. To make kombucha, you're gonna need a kombucha SCOBY, you're gonna need some sort of brewing vessel, you're gonna need sugar, and you're gonna need black tea. You're also gonna need some sort of muslin or a cheesecloth in order to cover your brewing vessel, and some sort of spatula or big spoon just to mix everything up. So let's jump into the brewing process and get the fun started. We're gonna start off with adding 1 cup of sugar to your room temperature water. After that, you wanna add your warm black tea to the brewing vessel. And specifically, you want black tea. You don't want any kind of black tea, green tea mixes. You don't want any flavored black tea. It has to be plain black tea. Super important. Otherwise, you're gonna get poor results. Or no results at all. You'll end up getting some weird stuff growing in there. Since I don't drink coffee very often, I found a better use for my French press. It lets the tea fully bloom inside of the container when you pour in the boiling water, but also when you're pouring it out, you have the little plunger to help squish out all the rest of the goodness out of the tea, which the microbes will end up using to make delicious kombucha. Now that you have your water, tea, and sugar in the brewing vessel, it's time to mix it all up really well until the sugar is fully dissolved. Next, you want to add your starter. As you can see, there is a pellicle inside of the bag and about 12 ounces of starter liquid. I also added a little bit of filtered water to the pouch to rinse everything out of the bottom and get it into the brewing container. And that's pretty much it. Cover your brewing vessel with your muslin or your cheesecloth. Put it into a warm cabinet or a closet or somewhere in your house that stays between 74 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit or 23.3 to 27.7 degrees Celsius. It only took about 3 days and I noticed new strands forming off of the fermentaholic's pellicle. But most importantly, I saw bubbles all around the top. The bubbles are a fantastic indicator of the health of your kombucha. As you saw earlier in the video, I had a really big pellicle that I couldn't even pull out of the jar, but the liquid itself had no carbonation, no bubbles, which means the microbes that make the bubbles had either gone dormant or died out. Welcome back, everybody. It's second fermentation day, and also continuous brew day. But second fermentation, yay! After about 2 weeks of brewing in my closet, there is a thin SCOBY forming on the top. As you could see, there's plenty of bubbles everywhere, and the CO2 has inflated parts of it to look like a jellyfish. And I'm ready to go jellyfishing. Let's get our room temperature filtered water like before. We'll be adding plain black tea at a rate of 5 tea bags or 5 teaspoons if you're using loose leaf. This round, I'm gonna be using Yunnan black tea. It's one of my favorite teas from one of my favorite tea regions, the Yunnan province in China. In my opinion, it has some of the best black tea in the world with this lovely golden color. Next, you want to add 1 cup of sugar and stir it until it's fully dissolved. Now, with clean hands, let's get the SCOBY out of the jar. It's definitely a funky looking thing, and as a germaphobe, it's amazing that I enjoy kombucha as much as I do, including messing around with the SCOBY itself. The single fermentaholic's pellicle ended up growing into this big giant pellicle that fully covers the top of my gallon container. And what you want to do is you want to take it out of your brewed kombucha and put it gently into your fresh brew. Now you want to stir the brewed kombucha and give the microbes a little bit of fun in a water park amusement ride, because thank you for all the hard work. After you've given your microbes a little bit of amusement water park fun, you'll need to measure out 2 cups of it, or 16 ounces of the brewed kombucha, and add it to your fresh brew. This will inoculate your fresh brew with billions of microbes and yeasts and continue the cycle. No need to go buy another starter pack. You pretty much have a continuous brew cycle going. Cover your new brew with a clean muslin cloth, and again, place it in a warm part of your house that likes to be around 74 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 23 to 27 Celsius. And you'll be repeating this process in about 12 to 14 days, especially if you're doing a continuous brew. Get ready, every 2 weeks, this is gonna be your life. Now for the fun part, giving your kombucha some flavor and some effervescence. I'll be using 2 different bottles in this round, the classic swivel top bottle, and every time I buy a Health Aid brand kombucha at the store, I always end up saving the bottles since they're already pressure safe. They're made for kombucha. They have the amber glass, which prevents UV light from destroying your hard work. Now, as far as flavor goes, I'm going to be making one of my favorites, which is pineapple mango ginger. But the sky is the limit when it comes to kombucha flavoring. You could use real fruit and puree it and add it to your second fermentation. You can use 100% juice, bottled juice, like I'm gonna be using this time since it's late winter. The fruits in the produce section are pretty bland and flavorless, so I prefer just using 100% juice during this time of the year. Sadly, I also used up all my fresh ginger when I was making my ginger bug ferment. So in this video, I'm just gonna have to resort to using powdered dried ginger, which certainly won't have the same kind of punch that fresh ginger would, but hopefully it'll give it at least a little bit of flavor. Now, the juice or the flavor component of your kombucha, you want to put in at a rate of 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 cup. So I'm going to be doing 1/4 cup pineapple and 1/4 cup mango juice to give me the 1/2 cup of flavoring. I would recommend using 100% juice over concentrate, but it will work if you use concentrate. It's just sugar water, which is basically what you have, sugar water with some flavoring. So the microbes will like it, but for your health and benefits, I definitely recommend using something that's 100% juice. Why spend all the money for sugar and water? Then, so that the rest of the bottles don't go to waste, because they probably won't make it 2 weeks in the refrigerator, I end up just dividing up the juice into some small containers and I pop it into the freezer for the next time I end up brewing kombucha. Now it's time to add the brewed kombucha into our juice and mix it all up together. Once the bottles are filled and cleaned, they go back into the warm closet for about 3 days. And after that, they'll go into the refrigerator for chilling and enjoying. As you see in this closet, I have the new brew going on. I have the second brew. I have my ginger bug before I ended up putting it into the back of my refrigerator. And I even have some young ginger on this heating mat because I want to grow my own ginger this year. I love spices, I love ginger, and I would certainly love to have my own homegrown organic ginger. In the 3 days that it was in the closet, it managed to grow its own little SCOBY inside of the bottle. That's a good sign of a healthy kombucha. Oh man, that tastes fantastic. Like pineapples and mangoes. The ginger, like I thought, you don't really even taste it. But the mango and the pineapple, fantastic. That is the end of the kombucha journey. I hope this video was informative, and I hope that it'll help you make a decision on whether you want to or don't want to start brewing your own kombucha at home. It's a fun project. It's not very demanding in terms of workload, and the rewards are quite substantial in terms of gut health and just the joy of drinking something different, something that you made at home with care and love, and it's putting that same care and love back into your gut health. I wish you all the best of luck in your kombucha brewing journey, and until next time, happy growing.